All right. Good morning, everybody. So I like to bring in different people. And, of course, after our last year when we went to the Westchester Film Festival, it just opened my eyes to local talent, storytellers, filmmakers, actors, directors, editors, etc., who are doing storytelling in and around Chester County. Just like I think Westchester, the borough itself, is just this conclave of a lot of artists. So whether it's music, art, and so I think comedy is now finally getting a little bit more. There's people in and around here. Like before, if you were thinking about comedy, you had to go to going to Philadelphia, go to New York, you had to go places in New Jersey and go around and I always felt like it was kind of lacking. And in the past few years, that's been building up. So since the Westchester Film Festival, it's just opened my eyes to meeting and seeing people that are storytellers in and around Chester County. So today we have with us Chester County storyteller Will Russell Foley. Welcome to the show, Will.
Thank you for having me.
Yes, our studio audience is here. Thank you very much. Did you have any trouble making it up here to the 17th floor of the WCHE building?
Not at all.
All right, good. We wanted to make sure was parking adequate out there.
Yeah.
Yep, the elevator worked.
Yeah, the elevator worked today.
Yeah, it took a minute for it to boot up, but yeah.
All right, good. Yeah. So I mean, we have so there's a lot of in and out traffic. The 10th floor, where we have all of our what is it, the jingle team down there?
Yes. Yep.
Yeah, 10th floor. Where's the marketing team at? The people that are doing all the videos and editing?
I think that's the 16th floor right under us.
Right underneath us. All right, cool. So, Will, good morning. And I found you because you put a post up on Facebook. I can't remember which page. It was one of the community pages.
Yeah, that's correct.
And you were like, hey, I'm filming a scene in Downingtown. And this was in the past, and then the weather didn't permit, right? Was it a weather issue?
It was kind of a mix of both. Yeah, weather was one thing, but it was actually a huge setback, last-second setback with our budget. I was raising a crowdfunding campaign, and even though we didn't reach our targeted goal, we still made a little money, but only to learn last second that if you don't reach your targeted goal, all that money goes back. So...
Oh, I didn't know that.
Had I continued that day, I unfortunately wouldn't have been able to pay my crew members and eventually my actors, so had to postpone it for a little while. I was thinking it was going to take a lot longer to kind of get back into it, but, sometimes you just got to go for it, despite how difficult a little film project could be, in my opinion. So.
100%. It seems like... we've had a number of local filmmakers in here. Casey, what's his name? Casey?
Casey Costigan.
Casey what?
Costigan.
Costigan.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah, he filmed. What was the film that he made?
I did the Westchester movie.
Westchester movie.
Superhero movie. A couple different.
Yeah,
projects.
Redemption or something like that. I think he did. And then we've had Terrell Dorsey, who has done a couple films. He's in July. He starts filming. There, now, whatever that sound was, it just came back in my headphone. Anyway, the tunnels. And anyway, being in that little scene there was interesting because, I don't know, it just opens your eyes to more storytellers and things like that. And then, of course, what I find interesting is the stuff that goes on, how do you get there? How do you go? You're a young guy. How old are you, Will?
I'm 24, but I will be 25 in a couple of days. So.
Oh, well, happy early birthday.
Thank you very much.
You have big plans for your birthday?
I think I'm going to be spending time with my mother and siblings. We're still deciding where, because all my siblings kind of live a little bit all over the place. My younger brother and I live around here. My two older siblings are in the city of Philadelphia, but it's always a fun time to go there, so may spend some time there. So.
City has lots of things to do. There's always something to do down in the beautiful city of Philadelphia, especially with our 250th anniversary coming up. There's all kinds of happenings happening.
Yeah, absolutely.
Happenings are happening. So on your website, so if people want to find out more about you besides this interview here today, you can go to Will Russell, 2 S's, Foley, FOLEY.com. Is this also, let's say I wanted to support your filmmaking. Do you have crowdfunding? Could I find it there? Or is it more on your social media?
Well, as of now, I'm going to be sharing on my social media. We are relaunching on Indiegogo. It's a little bit similar to Kickstarter, which was what I was on before. However, Indiegogo is asking for specific banking information, which is going to take me a couple more days to get. So,
I got
but I'll definitely be sharing on social media and probably my website as well when the new campaign is up for sure.
All right, well, we'll look out for that. Yeah, that's interesting. So, so you had a target amount for shooting this scene specifically, or is this for the whole movie?
Oh, this was for the whole movie.
For the whole movie, all right. And then you almost hit that amount, but you didn't, so then all that money just doesn't go.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that. Eric, did you know that?
Mm-mm. I would think it would still, yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was kind of like, well, everybody wanted to do it, but you got to hit your target funding. Mm-hmm. All right, that's interesting. All right, maybe that's why you got to be smart about setting your, like, hey, I definitely need this much to continue on.
Yeah.
But I'd like this much. I don't know. Anyway, that's beyond my scope. But how did you get into filmmaking, editing, acting? Did you start out as an actor, or did you start out as a filmmaker?
I started out as a video creation. I've really been into like the whole video and then filmmaking kind of thing really since I was a little kid.
Okay.
Always loved the process of like filming, even though it all started on my mom's little MacBook from 2007 or whatnot. Yeah. And just the process of editing. I would do like a lot of I'd say like the early stuff I can remember was just a lot of comedy stuff. Did a lot of stop motion with a bunch of toys that I had, but then various movies, Transformers, a lot of stuff that kind of inspired me to eventually get into like the action genre. And and then just as time went on, I got myself a camera, good computer for editing, and eventually before I went to Temple University for film, I was even in this little program when I was in my last 2 years of high school. I don't know I'm sure you maybe heard of it, Technical College, TCHS.
Yeah.
And I actually, even though I went to Downingtown West High School and the Brandywine location, the TCHS Brandywine was like less than 10 minutes down the street, I actually ended up going to this other TCHS building that was a little further in, it's the TCHS Pickering building.
Yes, I'm aware of where that is.
Yeah, Phoenixville. Did the digital media program, which was an excellent experience for sure.
Awesome.
Basically got to do what I love to do and got graded for it. So, and I'd say it definitely helped me with my background experience again, the Temple for sure. So
yeah, I think it's technical schools, whether it's at the high school level or college level, whatever you want to call it, secondary, is like, man, there's so much to offer. My daughter graduated from TCHS, and I was just like, because she wanted to get into cosmetology because she, loved doing hair and helping people out and doing all that stuff. So you could like literally graduate. They did like financial services there. Mm-hmm. Besides, like, when I was in, I'm 55, so I'm a little older than you, Will. Mm-hmm. And back in your day, back in my day, when you went to high school and the kids went to tech school, the kids that went to tech school were like, they were like, oh, this guy's not doing good in school. There was a stigma to it, right? It was like the rough crowd. They either didn't do well in school or, and they were going to do trades. And it was sort of this stigma of like, almost like looked down upon, which I think is dumb because, with the advent of AI coming and a lot of like tech jobs probably like, on the low end, like administrative tasks and data entry, like are probably going to be going out the window. Trades though, or at an all-time, they're needed, like learning how to do electrical and all those kinds of things. But now, like the tech schools, they have all kinds of things, man. I would just, anybody out there, if you're in high school, if you're a parent, you're listening, check out your school district's tech school, because I mean, that's what it's really about. Like, it helps you to go, if you have an interest, like you said, from early on, from childhood, you had an interest with filmmaking or videoing and editing and doing things on the computer. And it's like, you're not going to get that in regular school.
Yeah, absolutely.
You're not going to get that exposure. And then not only are you going to get the exposure, so you can, I think it's important, I've always told my kids, is that they're not kids anymore now, they're adults, but like, hey, knowing what you don't want to do is just as valuable as knowing what you do want to do. And I think at a young age, you want to experience it all, man. And going down the checklist of like, nope, hate that, no, hate that. Then you can cross it off the list. Like, it's the old saying of getting through all the no's to get to the yeses, because you're whittling down the things you don't want. Right. And then like, this totally doesn't speak to me, or let me give it a chance. So I think those things are so important. So I think it's cool that they have programs like this that you got to partake in. Was there anybody that you found as you're coming up? So you go through, your high school and TCHS, and then you're on to Temple. Was there, how did that change? Like going from like TCHS to like a school like Temple, and what was like the differences? Was it like all of a sudden like taking things up a notch, or just a nice easy graduation into more aspects of things?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a big change when it comes to, you got a lot more responsibilities for sure. And then it was also a little, I'd say, different than, let's say, other folks who kind of transitioned from technical college. It's just because the year I graduated, 2020, of course, the best year to graduate.
All right.
So I started taking film classes at Temple, like from home. So, I mean, it seemed kind of, for what, as far as, I didn't have to travel to class, I mean, that was kind of the easy part.
Yeah.
But there are definitely some challenges along the way. It's hard for me to really tell, like, what could have been different had I graduated a different year or the pandemic didn't happen. Then,
sure.
But yeah, I mean, it was quite the transition for sure. But you eventually get kind of used to it, or at least that's how I did eventually. And eventually we got the COVID vaccine, and then eventually able to settle back in person in school, and then that almost felt like an entire different change of its own. Like I went from another school to another school for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, that's interesting, like that you're mentioning that. I had a similar experience where I was at Westchester at the time, and I had like video production classes and stuff, and it was during COVID. Mm-hmm. So everything was like over your phone. You didn't have the best equipment and everything going on. Like, what was that like doing some of that during COVID?
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely not what I expected. It was definitely not what I would have expected a year prior when I applied. But it ended up working out. I at the time had a pretty brand new camera, and it was a really good. It's a 4K camcorder, Lumix GH5. Still use it to this day. And so, I mean, as you can imagine, we had to do a lot of video projects from home as our assignments. And, I did one particular one. It was in December of 2020, and it was actually the beginning of this franchise that's connected to the film I'm working on now. So, yeah, I mean, you gotta, like, make the best of it, I'd say. I mean, not that, I would hope we don't end up in another, COVID pandemic, at least, not anytime soon. So, but
I think we could I think we could all agree that we could do without that.
Could do without it.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, definitely things were like challenging. But I always had a kind of a way. I think if I wasn't into filmmaking as soon as I was, like, let's say I didn't even get into it till I was in high school, I can imagine things would have been a little more difficult, because obviously when I was a kid and I didn't have like connections like I would in college, like that's why I was like acting and everything by myself, or like if I was able to convince a friend or two to be in the background. So yeah, it just really depends on you, I think. Sure.
Yeah, I think the ability to adapt too, like that was something big that I was able, with Zoom, it's something that we still all use today, but certainly a lot of challenges with it and everything.
Yeah, looking back, I wish I maybe invested in their stock, right before.
Yeah, you're right. That would have been a great idea, right? That, and I don't know. Anyway,
save myself some student debt.
Yeah, I think there's a lot of people that we could have invested in a number of things that would have, like, even masks.
Yeah.
We heard some stories about that. Little vials that they use to make, put drugs in, their injectables and all that kind of needles, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, definitely I had to pivot. I mean, I'm in you're coming to me in my gym and I'm going to train you how to work out. So that was a big pivot. I had actually had a business mentor, and he was like, hey, like 2 weeks before the March shutdown was like, hey, he was in Canada, and they had already been shut down from the government. And so it was like, he goes, you guys aren't shut down yet? And we're like, no. And he goes, it's coming. Mm-hmm. And it was good that I had that and I think it wasn't even 2 weeks. I think it was like a week. And then it was like, boom. Luckily, I had put in time and work into trying to getting a plan together for the gym. And we had a great community that stuck by us. That was obviously huge. All right. So let's get into the film that you're making right now. That's what we're kind of talking about. Can you tell us the name of the film?
It's Android Warfare.
Android Warfare. Now, I was poking around on your website, and then on your website you have like some of your work, some of your acting work, your editing work, and your filmmaking. And I noticed there seems to be this sort of Android theme going on there. Is there what's behind that?
So it is a bit of it is part of a franchise I started really actually in December of 2020 when I worked on that one film. It all started, I'd say like a lot of big series, like franchises, they all start with the experimental part or some sort. Yeah. And so it started, again in 2020. As I was starting college, I was working a job at a giant food store, and it was only like not even a year prior, probably like 6 months prior to that, is when all the stores got that Marty robot, the thing that goes around.
Oh, yeah, the little thing that zooms around with the little googly eyes on it.
And immediately, like the day of we had it, I was like, I think it'd be a funny idea to do like a film skit, like everybody jokes about that thing going berserk, shooting lasers from its eyes. It's big googly eyes. And Well,
listen, we've all seen Terminator. We all know, and even before Terminator, I think we've all seen how robots can go awry through a variety of science fiction films and series and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
I when I did the project in 2020, the assignment was like I think it was like an experimental kind of show us what you can do at home kind of film project. Mm-hmm. So immediately I was like, I should probably get onto that. So like it starts out, I remember when I was working at the store, I while working the late shift, in between breaks, took some high quality interior pictures of the store, and then would use that using the green screen effect as if I'm in the store, and then bump into the robot, and then like a lot of kids and some adults just get into a thing where I just kick the robot, then that's what triggers him into berserk mode or something like that. Uh-huh. So it's really it was like a really like comic kind of comedic thing, like to get a laugh out of people, not as much as like a action drama kind of gritty thing like you get from like the Terminator.
Yeah.
But then I posted it to YouTube. Aside from submitting it, I submitted it as my film assignment. I got an A on it, and but then I uploaded to YouTube, which at the time my channel had about maybe 100 subscribers.
Okay.
But the video did well, a couple thousand views for a channel again with only about 100 subscribers. That's not bad at all.
Yeah, I think that's great.
And so of course, like a lot of successful movies, they do a sequel, of course. So a couple months forward, it was April of 2021, and I was kind of thinking like, what can I do to, continue it? So that's when I, did the sequel, had a little bit more of a darker vibe to it, and then 4 months after that, August of 2021, did the third one, and I won't really spoil much, but by the time we got into the third one and then the fourth one, that's when it kind of turned to like a action, really serious kind of dark vibe to it. And then December 2021, we finished it on a note where like it's kind of like a cliffhanger, but like in a way, kind of like the cliffhanger in Back to the Future 1. Like it's like they leave it on a note like they could open up for a sequel or it could just end there.
Right. Marty, we gotta go. Back to the future.
Yeah.
All right. That was my Doc Brown, by the way.
Oh, no, it's great.
For those who don't know.
Yeah. Yeah, so ended there. I'm like, we defeat Marty, and, I'm like, the friend who's in the movie's like, okay, well, we know there's going to be more robots coming, and then I'm like...
Marty is not alone.
Yeah, exactly.
There's other Martys out there.
So I'm holding this little CGI laser gun. I'm like, let's get to work. Ends there, and so we leave it about 2 years. And
a little tagline.
Yeah.
Let's get to work.
Yeah.
That's like, are you familiar with The Office, Will?
I am. I haven't really watched the show that much. Like, I've seen a bunch of. It's one of those shows I've been meaning to get into. Like,
all right.
But I've definitely seen like a lot of their funniest, iconic scenes, like the bouncing DVD logo.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, there's that one. So there's, Michael Scott, one of the main characters, obviously, and he like writes a screenplay. What was it called? Golden Gun or something? No, Threat Level Midnight is the name of the movie he writes. And then somehow Jim finds the screenplay while Michael is out, and he decides to band everybody together and goes, let's make this movie. And they actually make it and put it together, and it is, I don't know, it's pretty funny. Anyway, there's a tagline in there where it's like, they're making fun of all the taglines from like a Terminator movie where he's like, I'll be back, like that's a famous tagline, get to the chopper. And the tagline in Threat Level Midnight is, clean up in aisle 6. Anyway, I thought it was funny. That's what it made me think of. Let's get to work.
Yeah, I mean, and
make a T-shirt out of that.
Yeah, yeah. I
could be your merch guy. I got ideas.
All right, yeah, we'll definitely talk after the show today. And then going forward after the thing, then we create Android Showdown, which is the movie prior to this one.
Android Showdown.
Yeah.
And then Marty and who?
So Marty's not in this one.
Oh.
This time he's actually gone for good. We did our time with him, I'd say.
Okay.
But I definitely, at this point, it was 2023. Mm-hmm. The spring of 2023 is when I finished the script, and now that I think I had like more connections, more resources than ever, now that I was back in school in person and met a lot of people, talented fellow filmmakers, editors, and some actors, I decided, like one thing for sure, in the Marty the Robot series that I did, one of the, even though a lot of people liked it, the animation was just a JPEG transparent image of Marty himself that I'm like keyframing throughout all his action. So it's not like a 3D.
What is keyframing? Is that sort of like, I'm going to say it like, because I don't know. Is that like stop action, but something more computer?
So it's basically you just you start you like hit this the key at a specific time. Then you, depending throughout, you just drag it. So then basically it just looks, they're just moving straight left to right or up and down. You can like set it up to, it's basically a way to properly animate them from going place to place without having to do it like manually.
Okay. That sounds very time consuming.
It can definitely be time consuming, especially like when your footage is like, not like the most stable, like if it's a shaky video, then you almost have to still go frame by frame to kind of keep it in place.
Gotcha.
So I wanted to avoid doing so for this new one. I wanted to do like something that was more legit, like 3D animation. Mm-hmm. So one of my classmates in my screenwriting class is a really talented 3D animator. And he designed the characters that I drew because before I even got into filmmaking, like as far as I can remember, when I was 3 years old, I was always in the drawing and sketching. So still had some of the skills left in me to design the new characters, and then I had them do the work. And then we filmed that movie in the summer of 2023, probably with like a budget of under $500.
Okay.
Of my own money. And we filmed, and what was nice about it, I mean, I had some Philly-based actors, and something I learned like 2 months prior to filming when I was doing a different film project with a classmate is really like the community of actors and artists, how you post an ad on the Philadelphia Film Office site. There's a lot of actors who are willing to like do roles for free sometimes, or just for a very low rate.
Yeah.
Just so they have a portfolio. That's why I learned from the project.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think this is, I think, an underrated and undervalued, and it is the entrepreneurial aspect, right? So you are, consider yourself an artist, you're a filmmaker, a storyteller. We've talked about this several times. Then there's the bean counter, the person who comes in and is like, all right, how am I going to, you want to do this thing, but guess what? If you really want to do it great, you want to buy cool equipment, it costs money.
Yeah.
Right. So, it's like the wandering minstrel type thing. Like you still need to get paid, right? So like, yeah, I can create my own music, but are people going to show up and pay to hear it, see it? How do I pay my bills? How do I eat? The starving artist kind of thing. And then you have the bean counter thing. And it's like, how do I raise money? Mm-hmm. How do I get out there? How do I get in front of people that want to, promote the arts or support the arts? And so I think it's cool that there's the community, in and of itself is like, oh, yeah, you're doing a thing. Yeah, let's do a thing. When I started teaching and coaching, one of my mentors was like, hey, man, teach for free. Because, one, you're doing it for free. Mm-hmm. So anybody who's coming to learn from you, they can't really complain because they're getting it for free, and you can work out a lot of bugs. You can work on your craft, so to speak, whatever that is. So, that's just a little Coach Foose point out there to anybody, no matter what you're doing, like offering to do things for free. I think it's very undervalued in the younger people today, that because it's like, oh, I'm doing something for nothing. And I tried to explain this to somebody. I was like, yes, but you're gaining the experience, which now if you don't take advantage for that, in another year or two, you're going to have to pay to do that. Mm-hmm. For example, like going to TCHS, I'll use my daughter as an example. Part of that, you get so many hours to work towards whatever your credential is. And then you've got to go out and do some other stuff. And for a lot of reasons, that just didn't happen for her. And so what ended up being like, you could graduate with your license because, well, the school only gives you so many hours of credit. Mm-hmm. And you need these other hours. Well, it was like, yeah, well, I could make more money doing this, or I get paid, nothing. I don't really get paid a lot to be the intern or do the crap work. And yeah. So it's like, yeah, but you're learning a job in a skill set in an environment of the thing you might want to do later on. So you're getting that has a value to it. And then you are getting paid to actually kind of do that thing as an intern or whatever sometimes. Mm-hmm. And I was like, and all of that to get to the end point. I was like, now if you don't have the hours, what do you have to do? Well, now you have to go on to another school to get those hours of credit, and you're paying while you're not getting paid. So now it's like, you just, triple lost, so to speak. So I think there's a great value to, if you are entrepreneurial, if you want to do these things, is like finding and collaborating and being like, hey, I need to, put some things in my portfolio. I think that's a great business model and very underlooked and undervalued. Everybody wants to go and be quote unquote viral.
Yeah.
They want to hit it big. They want to go, oh, I got this big contract. But then you got to big deliver. And if you screw it up, that, it's like the old adage of, you could build 1,000 bridges, right? But if you do, rob one bank, that's not really how it goes, but I'm cleaning it up.
Yeah.
For radio. It's like build 1,000 bridges and then you rob a bank. You're not known as the bridge builder. You're known as the bank robber because you did the one bad thing. Same thing. So like, I think like scaling up and going big is like, yeah, it's great to dream all that, but if you go big, you can screw up big. When you can go small and build on that, like success has a momentum and an inertia to it.
Yeah.
Right? That can kind of carry you forward to the next opportunity and the next thing and all those kinds of things. So I think that's pretty cool. I mean, that's how I found you.
Yeah.
Right? And now here we are talking. So It's pretty cool. All right. So, sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt your train of thought, but I thought that was like a good a point is like, can I do it for free? How can I do it small but do it really good?
Yeah.
And then build on that momentum and bring in, the other fancy, either equipment or What do you find is your biggest hurdle in your filmmaking or wherever you're trying to get to?
Yeah, I would say like definitely like what I'm most qualified or what I'm like, like my strength is definitely in the post-production field right now. Like, the other stuff like acting is, something I'm still working to, build, not with my portfolio, but like with the skills of acting as well. Yeah, I would definitely say like when it comes to like job searching, there's definitely like something within the video creation and all the post-production is like definitely my most, I'd say, pile of experience so far.
Okay.
Aside from, the projects, the films that I did on YouTube, I've also done a lot on TikTok. Because, as many people during the COVID pandemic, when they had nothing to do, some people looked at TikTok and, it's kind of what I did. And I'd say with TikTok, other than YouTube, it was more of a luck situation. I had a couple videos that got a lot of attention, and that's when the followers kind of, unlike my other stuff, went through the roof. And so after years of doing that, it definitely helped me at least get more interviews and like possible job opportunities when it comes to especially the video post-production, the social media stuff. So I would say like that's kind of like my biggest hurdle, qualification, stuff like that. Yeah.
I gotcha. And how old are you again?
I'm 24.
24. Going to be 25 in a few days.
Yes.
So are you working in the field right now?
So as of now, working. I am working retail just to bring money in. But then, I'm still doing some freelance stuff. And then also, even on TikTok, I've been doing a couple of paid collaborations, like product reviews, doing like videos on it with my style of like the special effects and, the kind of humor that I put into like the style of editing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Initially, about 2 years ago, when I just got back from Los Angeles, spending a semester there with one of the Temple programs, and then I was working full time for a company doing their social media stuff, and then after that is when I started doing the retail stuff again, which ironically I'm being paid the most from that job right now. So,
yeah. I mean, listen, you got to pay. This goes back to the bean counter stuff, right? You got to pay. You got to pay the bills. You got to eat. All those kinds of things. And I think that is also like, there's got to be balance, right? Like, hey, I'm doing this. I really love doing it. And would it be cool if I could make money off of it? That would be cool. And then I could do it full time. Mm-hmm. But sometimes there's a freedom to not having it be your job.
Yeah.
Right? Like you're like, oh, well, I'm not really like, if this isn't coming together, it's like my hobby and it brings you great joy. And maybe in your filmmaking, you're bringing joy and either laughter or whatever, bringing enjoyment in some way to other people in your filmmaking. And there's nothing wrong with that. I think a lot of people are like, oh, you're not a success because you don't do it for a job. It's like, it's the candy factory thing, like, oh, I love candy. So now I'm working at the candy factory. And then you're like, ugh, I'm around candy 8 hours a day, 40 hours a week. I'm sick of candy.
Yeah.
So I feel like there's a freedom that can bring you as well that shouldn't be overlooked. I think it's cool to be like, I want to do this for a job. Like Eric went to school for, what did you have? Broadcasting, production? Media. Yeah. So that could have gone anyway. Mm-hmm. And Eric he has little side gigs. He does blogs. So he loves sports. So he's found this media stuff with his sports. And, you make some change off of that, right?
Yeah, a little bit off the blog I do, yeah. Not the podcast. I do podcasting separately, but the blog, yeah.
Yeah. So anyway, I don't know. Maybe you need to collaborate. Mm-hmm. Get some social media guy behind you, and you guys could be collaborating on your music and or baseball stuff. I don't know, whatever. But I think there's like like this doesn't pay my bills. you know, but I love doing it.
Yeah.
You know, my wife has a joke. She's like, "Oh, what are you going to do again? Oh, what thing are you going to do for free that makes you no money, that takes up time?" And I'm like, "Oh, well, you know, that's, you know." But my argument to her would be, "What do you do for fun?" And so, like, I don't know. I'm just out here living life and having fun experiences and meeting cool people like you that are doing some fun stuff. So, I don't know.
Now, as far as filmmaking question here, do you have like a favorite, maybe director, filmmaker, actor? That
Great question.
Like anyone that like was inspiring to you?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely hard to choose one, but I try to maybe pick two or three. I'd say for one, I mean, ever since I was like really young doing the filmmaking or video creation back then, my parents would just say, here's our young Steven Spielberg. Then, you know, getting to learn about Steven Spielberg, especially by the time I was in high school. So I'd say like definitely, you know, it could definitely, I say like I could relate to a lot of other fellow filmmakers. Steven Spielberg is definitely big inspiration. He's been at it since he was a kid as well. And then one of the other who I got into like when I was in high school, I'd say Sylvester Stallone was another big inspiration. Like not only is he an actor but a filmmaker as well. It's like, you know, when I was, you know, again when I was a kid and I was doing the directing and also acting, I kind of thought to the future like this is impossible. Then I see like the Rocky films where like he wrote, acted.
Well, that's what I was going to say. With Rocky, he wouldn't sell the script. Yeah,
smart,
control of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and then like he directed the sequels as well. So, and then of course like Rocky itself always inspiring series to watch for not only athletes but just, you know, people in general.
Like the underdog mentality.
Do you have a favorite Rocky movie from the franchise?
I'd say the first one's the best.
First one's the best.
Yeah. But I definitely, one I like to rewatch is like the fourth one, which, you know, it's kind of
Ivan Drago.
Ivan Drago, yeah.
The training montage.
Oh, it's fantastic.
That is, music. Oh man. And it's funny because it's resurfacing now because it's like, you know, I'm in the fitness industry and you see training has gotten all glitzy and glamour. It's like, it's always indoors. There's always this down lighting because it's Instagram, TikTok, you know, video filming. Everybody's filming their workout. Everybody's trying to be an influencer. And it is the joke in the fitness community of like, here's gyms, here's how, you know, oh, I need motivation. And then it's like, boom, Rocky montage. Right. You know, he's got the log on his back and he's trudging through the Siberian snow. And, you know, Ivan Drago's got all the fancy equipment, but he's out there like hoisting rocks. And it's just it's so gritty and cool and like kind of superhero-ish. It's a cool thing. Yeah. Underdog, you're in the dirt.
I remember hearing like a comment on like a YouTube video of like the song Hearts on Fire, also part of that montage.
Yeah.
Is like this song scientifically is meant to build adrenaline.
It'll up your testosterone by 20% just listening to Hearts on Fire.
Yeah, I mean like try going to like any gym, like there's at least got to be one or two people who have that on their phone ready to play during their I guarantee it. I mean it's just
you would think.
Yeah.
But I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. People are funny about their music. Yeah. Eric, do you have it on your is it on your gym workout playlist?
It's not.
Probably not. No.
Definitely on mine.
What's on yours? Give me a top three.
Me?
Yeah.
A lot of heavy metal stuff.
A lot of heavy metal.
Oh, no, yeah. I mean, you know.
Don't disrespect the authority.
80s, 90s, that sort of stuff. But it's about 20 hours long, so.
20 hours of music?
Yeah.
Oh, man. Well, you should be an Olympic runner then.
Yeah.
Do you ever make it to the end?
The playlist, no. But I like having that variety.
Like Taylor Swift? That's what she does. Like, she does her whole album.
Yeah.
Like, to get ready for a concert. She, like, runs a marathon to her whole album, like singing to herself or something. I don't know. Anyway, what's your, Will, when you're working out?
Pretty much the same stuff. You know, 80s, 90s rock, you know, aside from like, you know, the Rocky stuff. I mean, just anything that just has like, you know, the adrenaline building. I mean, that's just what's going to get me through a workout.
Cool.
Like obviously, anything that's like soft, you know, drama music, probably going to slow me down.
I I can work out to anything, man.
Yeah.
People get mad at me. They'll come in, like, I've open gym hours, and I'm listening to some, like, real wacky stuff that people are like, you're working out to this? And I'm like, yeah, I can work out to anything, man.
Oh, yeah. I mean, everyone's different. And
yeah, everybody is different. But I get it. I mean, it's not lost on me, but, you know.
Yeah.
We're coming to the end of our segment. Have you ever submitted any of your works to the Westchester Film Festival?
I haven't, but I'd say this.
Well, I think it costs money, right?
It does, yeah.
Okay, so there's that. That's a barrier for some.
Yeah, but this one for sure, I'm going to try to do everything I can to submit to festivals because, you know, I have more people than ever, you know, fellow artists and stuff who are involved in this project, and I think they deserve to be seen by as many people, aside from the social media stuff. So I'm going to do everything I can, submit it to some film festivals around here. Cool. I may be moving to Los Angeles later at the end of the summer after I'm done filming this. So, and I, you know, have like two friends from LA who are going to do some voiceovers for like the CGI characters in this movie. So,
oh, cool.
I guess that counts as this movie being made partly in LA. So, you know, maybe submit to a film festival there too. So,
awesome.
I'd say without a doubt this specific project's going to be the biggest project yet, and I'm really looking forward to it for sure. So,
awesome. Eric, do you have anything?
No, I think that's about it.
All right. So, what is the name of this movie that you are filming?
Android Warfare.
Android Warfare. And how far? Where are you at in the filmmaking process here?
So we filmed two scenes so far. Okay. Very first scene was even though the movie's primarily about these android characters, I'm trying to blend in like relatable human characters, my character specifically, after saving the world in the previous installments, trying to get like transition to a normal life. He's got a job interview that doesn't go as well because, you know, as much as he's a hero, he was also on the FBI's wanted list for on the run, you know.
Gotcha.
But then, and then there was a like a brief intel scene tracking down some bad guys that turns into a car chase. So, you know, we're filming interior parts of me acting like I'm in the middle of this high-speed chase. So, so that's what we have so far. My goal was to try to film everything in chronological order, and we're pretty much not going to be able to do that, but, you know, it'll all come together. I kind of have a good feeling on it, so you got to at least try. So,
love it. All right, so we'll be on the lookout for Android Warfare. Where are you going to release this? Is there going to be a big premiere? What's the deal?
I'm definitely going to try to, you know, set up some sort of premiere. One of the film locations that I was able to, you know, through connections, get for free to film at. There's a lot of scenes we're going to do there. The place just happens to have a projector screen, so maybe I could try to do something there.
Maybe we could, Eric. Maybe we should pull our strings. You know, since we're giant media moguls, maybe we can talk to some people at the Uptown.
That'd be fantastic.
That would be amazing. Maybe we could talk to somebody over there. Who knows?
Yeah.
I also know a local record shop that puts up some premieres. Some films as well. So I don't know. Maybe we'll see.
Yeah, that'd be great as well.
Right, so you're filming a scene this weekend, correct?
Correct.
All right, we won't disclose because we don't want to have a flash mob there.
Yeah.
All right, but is it Friday or Saturday?
Saturday. It's a alien invasion scene.
Okay. Tell us a little bit about that.
So at that point in the movie, we've had some, let's say, kind of Star Wars style betrayals, or Game of Thrones betrayals, and that leads into one of the most intense scenes. And looking forward to it for sure. So yeah, fingers crossed, all goes well. And, at that point, that will be probably the craziest, intense scene for the movie. And,
Awesome. Well, keep us abreast. If you have any of we'll share, if you get some crowdfunding up on your social media, we'll be happy to share it here through the station. And it was great. Thanks for taking the time out of your day to come in and talk about your career and filmmaking and storytelling and influences and things. Always a great conversation. Will, where can we find you? Tell us all your socials, you know.
Yeah. You can find me on I have the same handle for all my platforms, YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, at Will Russell01. That's 2 S's, 2 L's, Will Russell01. And yeah, you can find a lot of the content I like to do, and then definitely updates about this film for sure. So
awesome. Thank you so much for coming in. Everybody, that was Will Russell Foley, Chester County filmmaker, storyteller, actor, editor. He does all kinds of things. You said you do some private, like, your stuff on the side, right? Like, what would I hire you for? If you're doing side work. You mentioned that earlier in the interview. I'm just curious.
Well, at this point, anything that I can do to help around the studio, even if it means carrying around some cables, helping prepare.
Gotcha.
Yeah, anything to be around the environment. It's very good for me.
Have you gone to QVC?
I haven't. I actually did apply to a job there at some point.
Yeah.
But I hear a lot of good things about it.
Yeah, they have like a production crew over there, and they do a lot, even though you might not be interested in what their it's like, old ladies, washed up television people's shtick they're hawking, but they do a great job of promoting it and doing it out there. There's a lot of production work over there. Maybe that's something to consider. Just to put it in your noggin there. But listen, Will, I'll be seeing you this weekend because I'm going to be showing up. What time do I have to be there? No, don't tell me.
Yeah.
I don't want anybody to show up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I've got the information, so I'm interested in being a part of your scene here coming up, and it was just interesting to meet and talk. I'm always interested in supporting local storytellers, actors, comedians, whatever you got going on. If you're doing something in Chester County, folks, I don't know. Call in 610-701-9243. Get a hold of us, or we could get a hold of us at email. What's our email here?
Yeah, just go to the website, contact.
There you go. Website contact. And give us a shout if you want to come on the show, talk about a project you're working on, something you're doing for the people in and around, by the people, for the people of Chester County. And then we'll take a break, and then I think we'll be right back.